COVID-19, what a crazy time that was for all of us, I think, in and outside the prison. A pandemic no one knew how to handle. I spent the last 12 months of my sentence in the COVID lockdown. It was really tough. Okay, we'll start off with the fact that the first bit was, since October previously, I'd started my rottles, which meant I could work outside the prison. Me and my friend, we both lived on the same landing and we worked in the same place. We got to work Monday to Friday. We'd sort of leave the prison about 7:30 and we'd get back in about 5, 5:30. We was allowed our mobile phones. Obviously, we wasn't allowed them in the prison. Once you get in the front gate, there's lockers which all our personal belongings got left in there. We got searched and everything before we went back into the prison. And so we'd have that. So we'd have the freedom, the sort of normality of getting, you know, working outside, having our phones, being able to contact our families whenever we sort of wanted to during the day and not have to worry about phone credit and stuff like that. Every other fortnight, we'd be allowed to go home for a day. And every 28 days, we got to stay at home 4 nights and 5 days. This just wasn't for any prison. Obviously, you had to be a really well-behaved prisoner. You had to have kept your head down and earn the right to be able to do this. So yeah, so we've been doing that for a little while, staying at home. It was amazing. You know, my time just started really flying. Obviously, we was hearing about the deaths and this, you know, this COVID-19. And I'll never forget the day that me and my friend got pulled into the office by our manager. And she was like, look, you know, I shouldn't be telling you guys this, but you won't be coming back tomorrow. Basically go and make the phone calls that you want to your family and your friends and stuff. She said, I'll give you like half an hour, do whatever you need to do. Obviously, she trusted us because anyone could have just done a runner. So obviously, I'm glad that she trusted us. It gave us a chance to make them phone calls and stuff. We got back to the jail and yeah, we was pulled into the office and we was told that we wouldn't be going to work. And then 3 days later, the whole world went into, well, sort of not the whole world, but sorry, the whole country went into lockdown. And it was tough. So literally in the blink of an eye, we just had everything taken from us. And I guess, you know, outside, you guys must have felt like that as well. But this is how they treated us. So, okay, fair enough, we're not allowed out of our rooms. That's fine. Obviously, if it spreads within the jail, it's quite dangerous because it's such a small confined space. You know, you imagine your average sort of hallway, that's the gap that you've got between the person living opposite you, their door. So obviously this could spread very quickly. No one knew what it was really about at this point. You know, we didn't know how dangerous it was and stuff. Obviously we knew how dangerous people were dying, but obviously, you know, no one, it was new to everybody. No one knew what the next plan was. So basically, yeah, we'd gone from all of that to literally having 10-minute phone call a day. So everyone was locked up in their room for 23.5 hours a day. So as it first started, obviously I understand the jail had never dealt with something like this before, but we never had phones in our rooms at this point. So we had a phone on the landing. There was 3 phones out of the average of about 40 women. We'd get a half an hour exercise time, and during that time we had to make our 10-minute phone call. They did do landing 1 and then landing 2, so obviously it was separate time, so it minimized the amount of girls trying to use a phone at first. But you imagine like 10 minutes to ring your mum, your dad, because my parents don't live together, my partner, and then I've got my brother, and then I've got my best friends that have stuck by me. So you try and spread that 10 minutes out a day. It was awful. It was awful. I mean, I had some really sad news as well about my mum not long before. Basically, long story short, she was very, very poorly. So it was the worst choice every day. You know, you're wondering who do I make that phone call to? You know, who do I ring? Who do I prioritize? That's torture in itself. To anyone else, it might sound a little bit silly, but you know, you could put pen to paper and stuff like that. If you don't have money, you only get 2 free letters a week. So you can't just write all the time and stuff like that. Yeah, it was horrible. I think everybody just dipped. Everyone's mental health was awful, and you would try and speak to the officers about it. I mean, people were breaking down. I watched some girls hit rock bottom, and I hit rock bottom during that time. I'm not gonna lie. I had to engage with mental health at one point. It literally just, everyone just hit such a low, and I was really lucky because I was quite a respected prisoner. I got the laundry job, so I managed to be out of my room during the day, but you still don't get to talk to people. You're up and down the stairs, you take the laundry to the door, you knock the door, you walk away, you get caught talking to people. I'd lose my job. People get caught out of their rooms, they'd get kicked off. It was madness, and I totally understand the jail. They had no idea how to handle it, and in one aspect, I guess they did the best they could, but some of the officers, like, you'd go to them and you'd try and confide in them. Like, I watched one girl, hit a low, like I just said, and the officer's response would be, "We can't see our family or friends either." It's just like, are you sure? Are you sure that is a response you want to give us? But you can pick up the phone. You can pick up the phone. You can talk to your mum all day long. You can FaceTime people. You've given us 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day, and none of them cared, because literally all of the officers, let's say 80% of the officers would care about, or response would be, well, they can't do this, they can't do that. And it was like, they forgot we was prisoners, and they forgot that it was their duty of care to support people and stuff like that. And I guess that's when you started to see some of the officers' true colours. It was just, I don't know how to, well, you guys, if you think about it on the outside, how you must have felt. So imagine only being allowed to ring your family and friends for 10 minutes a day, and being just, well, you know what it's like to be stuck in. It was tough. And then there was a few officers that didn't work on our wing. They would do wing walks, and they really cared. They really, really made a difference. They really supported the girls. They really engaged with us. They would take people for one-to-ones. They would check in on them, and it was like, wow, why can't our own wing officers do that? But they were so wrapped up in themselves and what they were going through, they just didn't care. I guess maybe they looked down upon us and thought, it's our fault for being in jail. And yeah, like, it is, but we didn't choose to be monitored on how long we could call home for a day and stuff like that. Gradually over time, it upped to about, I think, up to 20 minutes a day, which, all right, we was grateful for, but it still didn't cut it. We wasn't allowed any visits. We literally, it was just going from all of that, people having visits and stuff like that, and not being able to see anyone, their children. That must have been tough. I mean, I watched a lot of girls struggle with that. Not being able to see their kids and stuff. But then they did bring in this thing called Purple Visits. So it was like a video link. You'd get half an hour once a month. Again, it was brand new, was never invented. And I remember the first few calls, everyone would go mad. It was fuzzy, the connection would go, whoever was on the other end, they'd only go like that, and it'd freeze the whole thing, and it would say somebody else in the background, and blah blah blah. But then as towards the end, it did get a lot better. They did up it a bit. A lot of families and stuff found it a lot better, rather than traveling a million miles to visit them, they could just get on the end of the phone or computer and stuff. So that was good. And then I think about 8 months in, they finally they got phones in our rooms, and that was absolutely amazing. Like, everyone was just buzzing. That's probably the only good thing I can say that come out of lockdown, was the fact that you just got, it was monitored to 2 hours a day. As soon as it hit midnight, your 2 hours started again. But just being able to have a private conversation, if people wanted to cry or open up, there was no one else stood behind and waiting for the phone or listening in. It was really, really, really did change a lot of lives in there. I know it helped me so much. But yeah, I mean, that's just, I don't think there is any words to describe how anyone in the lockdown in jail felt, to be honest, because it made my last 12 months the toughest 12 months that I've been through my whole sentence. And maybe that's what I needed towards the end, just to really give me a real kick of what jails really is like. Some guys, they're on 24-hour bang up. How they cope with that, you know, I don't know. There's only so many DVDs you can watch the same. Oh, they upped our TV channels. I think they gave us an extra like 6 channels. They gave us a music channel. And yeah, I mean, again, they kept repeating the same sort of stuff on most of the channels, but it was effort, I guess, made from the jail. I think it was the government that gave us, if you had under like £20 on your phone credit, they gave you £5 a week for free. And there was rumours going around, I think for a few weeks they stopped putting it into the girls' accounts, and they yeah, apparently the prison had pocketed it and stuff like that. Oh God, it's funny the things that people say. But yeah, that's COVID-19 from inside the jail perspective. Coming out, it was still in lockdown, but it wasn't much long after that that things started to go back to normal. So that was quite good, because it was tough, obviously, again, coming out, having the restrictions of seeing your family, but it was just being on the phone all the time and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, it was amazing. But yeah, it's not good. So yeah, that's really it on that one. It feels like that's a little bit of a depressing one, if I'm honest. It brings back some feelings that I've not really thought about or spoke about for a little while. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you a bit of an insight on what it was like. If you like any of my videos or you enjoyed watching this one, please subscribe if you already haven't. Any questions or anything you want to know, stories on any other different videos for me to make, just let me know. Thanks for watching.